Okay, so this is how to convert an item for use with 3ds Max, so you can bring your stuff into Second Life without using Blender or an add-on. These are the swallow ears. I figured out how to I figured out which ear it is. I think it's this ear here that I got a demo for. They give you the demo for the left ear. So I'm just gonna first I need to select the rig. And this only works with rigs that are avastar because it's not necessary. If it's not an avastar rig and it's industry compatible, then you don't need this process. But most of the dev kits are avastar derived. When you get Bento Buddy, install it and restart Blender. Then you want to put your credentials in here and click activate, and if you agree with the TOS, then you can proceed. When we create a dev kit preset, it will give you a notice in the message center if it completes. So let's do that. Mesh export, create a preset, and I just give it a goofy name, save. It'll pop up a message giving you some instructions. The rig properties are being sent to the expression server, blah blah blah. It only takes about 20 seconds or less, really. And so we'll go to the message center and you see that it finished, and I can just click that to delete the message. Now that I have my preset, I can go back to the exporter and load that preset on to the rig. Now I'm ready to export the ears. Using Bento Buddy to export mesh for use with Second Life actually creates an industry standard DAE file. It's not just for Second Life. Avastar doesn't do that. It creates an item that can only be used in Second Life. Let's do that. Let's just export this, and I'm going to put it in my test thing here, and then I'm going to go over to 3ds Max and import this monster. I want to make sure my unit setup is correct. I keep this on meters because Blender is done in meters and it makes things simpler. The unit setup, I set that to meters as well. This is not always the case, but this is convenient for now and we'll get the job done. And say OK. I'll import my DAE file. Make sure you set those meters, that units first. I'll import my DAE file with default settings. Actually, I don't think it is default settings. Let me go in and make sure, because these could possibly import as dummies. So let's say import, and I'm going to show you what the feature is here. Let's see, animation, bone creation, leave as bones. You want to set that leave as bones because Bento Buddy will export a proper rig, as you can see here. And now we've got our ears. Okay, I'm going to adjust my clipping here so I can see better because it's very small here, and that's what I meant by keeping it at meters. There's a more convenient workflow where you put it to centimeters so you don't get that clipping, and things actually work a lot better. But for this particular case, as long as you can deal with the inconveniences, we're all set. I'm going to hide the bones so that I can work with my material better. So I'll click on the item, the type bones. I'll hit Control A to select everything, and since it's restricted to bones, it only selects the bones. Open up my Scene Explorer, and I'll create a new layer with a selection, and I'll just call it bones, and then hide it. Then I want to select my ear that I'm going to use, put that back to all, which is this one. I know that from experience. Turn to blue. Jeez, these bugs. I know what that is. The highlight thing. And I know how to fix it, but I'm not going to stick with that right now. I'll hide the one that's not selected, and I'm going to create a torus as an earring for this. And unhide the layer, abort the object creation. I want to go to a layer that's visible. That's not it. I want an active layer that's visible, and it's the default layer. So I'll create my torus here. And that's huge as hell. Alright, like that. Okay. I'm going to align it with this object. And then I'm going to rotate it around and put it into place. I want to put my snaps on here so I have degrees of rotation snapped. And of course it's too big. I'll hold the Alt key down to get a more precise alignment. And I want it thinner. Let's move this over to the ear. It doesn't have to be in any special place. You know, I mean, when you're working with it, obviously you're going to put it where you want it. But I'm just gonna put it wherever I like for testing. It's not going to be perfect. I just messed up my view, so I'll change that back. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to rotate this a little bit here. Move it to the tip. Alright, so we have a goofy earring, and it's not in any awesome place, but at least we'll be able to identify where it shows up. And I want to make 2 of these, and I'll show how to do that. I'll go over to my tools and make sure that I have reset X form from the list, which is right here. Reset selected, and then I want to put this gizmo to the center of the world where the actual rig is. So effect pivot only, and I want to right click on my move tool and right click on all of these spinners to put it right in the center. And that way my mirror tool will work, which is not really mirror. It's something else. We don't use the mirror tool for this particular purpose. I use the symmetry tool, and this happens to be on the Y. And now I have the 2 earrings. I'm just going to collapse this to make it an object, and I will add an edit poly modifier just to clean it up, and add a skin wrap. I'm going to put this at face deformation. The fallout should be its lowest, so right click on the spinner and weight all points. And I know that this will give me problems if I don't adjust this to 0.05. Convert to skin. This is ready for export. Export selected. And I'm going to put it in my A test. And I will upload this to Second Life. So I grabbed the demo from the Swallow store, and this procedure works with any devkit, but I happened to run into somebody who needed some instructions on how to do this with this particular product. So I'm going to upload what I just exported from Max, and I'll just set this to 0. It's not used. Physics model will be just a cube, and my rigging is not working. Skinning. Let's go see what happened. So I went over the video segment that I did for skinning here, and I missed a step. So I'm going to do skin wrap, and I forgot to add the skin source before I did everything else. And then recall that I did face deformation, and I right click on fall off and weight all points, and then 0.05 convert the skin. So I'm going to re-export this, and this should work just fine. There was just no skin data on it, and this will fix it. Sorry about that. Let's try this one more time here. Alright, I'll just put that to 0 as before. And then we have our skin data. Upload. Now I can add that, and it should show up right where we had it before. So there you have it.